name or Rama, even if we chant only one mala, even if we chant only for 5 minutes, Puja Swamiji used to say he was not chanting throughout, but whatever time he chanted, it was full, concentrated, the impact of which remained with him throughout. So the quality, decoction, concentrated bhakti. So bhakti is the root. And if we are enamored by, enticed by all the sense objects, we will not be able to progress. So there comes Vairagya. So Vairagya is the trunk. Slowly we try to shift our priority. We cannot take the mind from the sense objects and put it. If the mind is preoccupied with something higher, automatically the tendency of going out to the sense objects will become less and less. So that is why he said Vairagya is the trunk. And then Jnana is the flower. You must go intently into your journey and find out that the power is inside. He is there in everybody. I am the Atman. I am not what I am assuming myself to be. And then, Paravati. When we come out of this, we see only all are the diverse forms of the same energy, same power, same God. These are all, he has told us so that we will be able to develop the intent Vairagya. Intent Vairagya means not running away from anything, but detachment takes place. Today when we were going through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one sloka from the 3rd chapter. Sadrisham cheshtate swasya prakriter jnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishe. Even a wise person acts in accordance with his or her own nature. Beings follow nature. What can some person do? So far we are trying to impose something on us which is not our own real nature. That is why it is not becoming effective. We are inspired by Atma. But why is it that we have not been able to do it? We start thinking. Every word of Sri Krishna is inspiring. But what happens to us? Every activity that we are associating with in the ashram is inspiring. But why it is not going still further into us? This question should come to us. What is happening to me? What is the sadhana? What is the sadhana which I feel I am continuing? What is its impact on my thoughts, words and deeds? So here Lord Krishna says, everyone acts according to his nature, so Sabhava. So the refinery, we have to put it in a refinery. From the crude to the, he elsewhere says it is a refinery. So even a wise person acts in accordance with his the word Prakriti has been used in several of these verses. We call it nature. Nature means not outside, not only outside nature. The whole of nature outside and the same nature within us also. The body sense mind complex is an evolution of the same material out of which the external nature has also evolved. That is the Vedantic teaching. And that is also the modern scientific teaching. So nature is also within us, not merely outside. Our body, our sensory system, even our psyche are all outposts of external nature in you and in me. We are pulled down by that nature to live like an ordinary animal or beast. We must reckon with this nature. Sri Krishna says here, even a man of knowledge is impelled by nature within to act in a particular way. Sadrisham cheshtate sasya. One's own nature dictates how one shall act, what conduct one shall adopt. Prakriti or nature within us will dictate what we shall do and what we shall not do. Now that Prakriti consists of the impulses of the sensory system to go out to the external world all the time, and the mind follows the senses and also goes after the sensory pleasures outside. And by doing so, we create another type of nature within us, namely innate tendencies, what we call samskaras or vasanas. A beautiful scientific term. Everything is there, they try to come out, try to express themselves through our conscious mind, and not only you and I, even a person of knowledge is dragged by these forces within. Vedanta wants people to understand what are these forces operating upon them. And Vedanta answered, there are two forces, external forces, internal forces. People neglect these internal forces. That is why externally, even if we are convinced fully, we are unable to actualize it in our day-to-day life. That is why they are in trouble. If we don't neglect this, and if we know how to handle these internal forces, then we can live a better and fuller life. That will be taught in the verses to follow. So, Pragrudev Jnanavan, even a jnani, one of knowledge, is carried away by the forces of nature implanted within oneself. Prakritim yanti bhutani, beings follow the impulses of nature. What can mere suppression do? You can't suppress these forces of nature. That is not the way. You have to educate them. As Sri Ramakrishna says, give them a new direction. A new direction, ethical, moral, spiritual. You have to give to such impulses and not suppress them. That is your own responsibility. When you try to do so, you need help. Then you turn to books like the Gita and the spiritual books. They give you guidance in this matter. And so it's a problem everybody has to face. Human beings in particular. Animals are all controlled by nature. They don't protest against nature. But in a human being, that nature in its outer and inner form is there, but something else is also there. The highest form of nature, the Atma. That something is the human source of freedom. The Atman manifesting through the body-mind complex as an urge for freedom. I want to take my life in my own hands and shape it. I don't want nature to shape it. In this way, there is an element of freedom in every human child, which you don't find in an animal. These two are combined, Chitta Jada, human system. What is inert matter is what nature has implanted in us. What is consciousness is also present within us in our higher nature, Paraprabhu. We just found a higher manifestation in this human system. We are in a difficult situation. We would have no struggle in life if the consciousness and its urge for freedom were not there. If only ordinary nature was there, we would then say yes to every impulse. But because the consciousness is there and it is tied to this nature, you revolt against it. All moral life, all culture, all civilization comes out of that struggle. I want to assert my own true nature, which is of the nature of pure consciousness. Chitta Jada Granthi, the knot of Chitta and Jada. Chitta means consciousness, Jada means unconsciousness or inertness. Nature is inert outside, that nature has implanted itself within us, When that is strong, we are carried away. Prakrite Jnanavanavi. Even a jnani is subject to this pressure. And so we have to be careful. Everything is not easy within us. Human life is a struggle. The concept of human life is a struggle. It's a wonderful concept. Animals do not struggle to manifest themselves on a higher plane. We struggle. Their struggle is for mere survival, eating, drinking, mating. Ours is not for mere survival. Something within us is seeking expression to dominate this body-mind complex. That is how we develop culture, we develop civilization. Saying no to nature, going beyond nature to some extent. Nature says, remain in sun and rain. Human being says, no, builds a house. But even then, even a person of culture and civilization is subject to pressures of nature. And we can see it in civilization everywhere. There is a deeper dimension to human life, not merely civilization. Civilization is only more of comfort, more of convenience, more of gadgets. I sometimes quote a sentence from Disraeli, the British Prime Minister about 100 years ago, who was a great scholar. There he says, the European talks of progress because by the aid of a few scientific discoveries, he has constructed a society which makes comfort for civilization. Because we are more comfortable, we are more civilized. That is not correct. There is something higher which we have to manifest. Comfortable life is not a truly civilized life. So the verse says, Prakriti Yanti Bhutani, beings follow impulsions of nature. Most of what we are doing are nothing but impulsions of nature. In all these matters, what function is just plain nature. That is not the whole thing. There is such a thing as culture or personality development. There you are on your own. You are trying to manifest some dimensions within you beyond the nature level. Out of that comes ethics, morality, higher spiritual life. So the question was how to detach ourselves from the cravings, attachment. Unless and until we this becomes very clear to us, Lord Krishna says, unless we make an effort to go little higher than what we are now, the higher dimension in us, be by Satsang, by the Shastras, by Swadhyaya, we come to know. In our case, when we chant Ramna, we know we are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is not bound by any of the so-called me and mine. And so from my level, the present me and mine level, I have to raise myself. That is spiritual sadhana. I am not guided only by my nature, my innate nature. I must fix the priority of raising myself to the higher level. I may fail, but I must keep on trying. Indian thought divides human life into 4 stages. Brahmacharya, student life, Garhastya, married state, Vanaprastha, retired life, Sannyasa, life of renunciation. The last 2 deal with the higher dimensions in a more concentrated way. During the first 2 also, we shall be having something to do with the higher dimension. But the struggle of life is so strong that we cannot divert our major attention to it. But now that you have achieved something in life, you have got a family, you have got a name, fame, everything has come to you, now it is time to develop a new philosophy for yourself. That is the philosophy of the afternoon of human life. Have I enriched myself qualitatively? What a beautiful concept. More of peace, more of joy, more of compassion. That spiritual development must become the main activity in the afternoons of one's life. If you carry over the forenoon activities into the afternoon, what can be the result? Diminution of personality as quoted from Young. We will become smaller and smaller day by day because the world rejects us. Nature rejects us. This particular portion we have to again observe. Indian thought divides human life into 4 stages. Brahmacharya, the student life; Garhastya, the married state; Vanaprastha, the retired life; and Sannyasa, the life of renunciation. The last 2 deal with the higher dimensions in a more concentrated way. During the first 2 also, we shall be having something to do with the higher dimension. But the struggle of life is so strong that we cannot divert our major attention to it. But now that you have achieved something in life, you have got a family, you have got a name, fame, everything has come to you. Now it is time to develop a new philosophy for yourself. That is the philosophy of the afternoon of human life. Have I enriched myself qualitatively? More of peace, more of joy, more of compassion. That spiritual development must become the main activity of the afternoon's life. Because afternoon, evening and then night. The encased form of sense of individuality has to quit. So before we quit, we should do something that will enrich my life qualitatively. That means transferring my priorities from the transient to the intransient, from the ephemeral to the eternal. My tendencies may not permit me, I must try. Now Sri Krishna through this sloka reminds me, alright, you have lived the forenoon life, now you have entered the afternoon. In many of our cases, it is the evening of our life. So here he wants us one more. The spiritual development must become the main activity in the afternoon of one's life. If you carry over the forenoon activities to the afternoon, that means not getting prioritized about the quality, to qualitatively enrich our life. Our forenoon life, suppose we carry in the same fashion. What will be the result? We will become smaller and smaller, day by day, because the world rejects us. Nature rejects us. Bhagavad Gita, he beautifully brings it out. When everything is gone, nobody at home even will talk to us. If we are self-centered, me and mine is predominating, if we are not trying to expand ourselves, we become smaller and smaller day by day, and the world rejects us. Take for example the concept of genetics. Any organism is valuable for nature only so long as it can reproduce. As soon as it ceases to reproduce, nature has no interest in that organism. Nature may reject you, but why do you reject yourself? You have the capacity to take life to a higher level, higher than your nature. Don't live in that nature. Don't live in that nature's level all the time. This is a profound truth. In these verses, the Gita is stressing this idea that much of our life is at the level of nature. We accept it, but it need not always be so. We can rescue ourselves from the bonds of nature, Swabhava. There is something within us which is free. We can manifest that freedom. There comes a higher philosophy of life. And both these should not contradict each other. They follow one with the other. First is achievement. A young person of 20, instead of sitting quiet looking into the navel, sitting in meditation, let him work hard, earn money, do other things. Otherwise he or she will be a failure. In these verses you get the truth expressed by Sri Krishna. Sadrisam cheshtate sasya. According to one's own prakriti or nature, one acts. You cannot destroy nature, it is there. But you must know how to handle it. A depth psychology has been used to develop the spiritual message of Vedanta. Without doing violence to human nature, we educate nature and go higher and higher and still higher. No direct confrontation, no suppression. Suppression has no meaning at all because suppressed energies find a way to come out. In fact, they come out in a disguised form. That is one of the big contributions of the Western psychology. Whatever is unpleasant to you, whatever your conscience does not like, you just suppress it in the mind. It goes into the conscious or unconscious. From there it comes out in a disguised form, in various forms of psychic distortions and complexes, manifesting as this distorted behavior and the distorted and this you don't know what they are. Sri Ramakrishna puts it in a simple statement. Turn the direction of these energies. They are all centers of energy. Every emotion is a center of energy. That energy has to be refined and given a direction. That capacity we have. Only we must do it carefully, judiciously, not through a direct confrontation. Those who have enormous spiritual strength, they can do it with a direct confrontation. But most people cannot and should not. They will lose the battle. That is the meaning of the statement, Nigraha Kim Karishyati. Merely suppressing, what can it do? Better to work out these various tendencies, impulses, with a discriminating mind, so that you can climb higher and higher. The word discrimination, Viveka, comes here again and again. So this is the teaching regarding nature implanted in human beings. The same nature that is outside. That is why Krishna will say later that there is a similarity between the two. So we have to ask ourselves, in spite of our associating closely with so many of such truths, revelations, why is it that we are not in a position to hold on to it? We get an answer today. It is because of our nature. Which we have unknowingly developed over the past so many births and this birth. But at the same time, Lord, who has given us this sense of individuality, has also given us the freedom to get out of this. Jnana is the flower, Parabhakti is the fruit. If we keep on bringing these dimensions, some effect will be there. I may not be able to withdraw the whole of my senses from the sense fields, sense objects, agreed. But some control will be there. Because somewhere in my heart I am prompted to know the highest. That is why we are associating with these thoughts, subjective thoughts. So now I have to stimulate it. How do I do the stimulation? Here Lord Krishna says, you have to keep on thinking about it. So first of all, bhakti. You have given everything to me. You have made me aware that you are there intellectually. But I fail, I forget, I come down to the individual plane. And again I am passing through anxieties. Chinnandaji used to say, benumbing thoughts of the past and anxieties of the future. In between these two, I become unaware of the present. Every moment slips by without making me aware of its presence. Because the mind either is on the past or on the future. So we take to some discipline, and in our case it is Ramnam. Discipline, now we know that the chanting of Ramnam, if it is for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, even if we do one mala, we try to pray to him. Free me from the clutches of this past and the anxieties of the future, and make me aware of your presence now and here. I want to feel your presence, but by the time I think about you, it has become a past. Something in my past drags me out, or my anxiety for the future pull me out, and in that process I fail to understand your presence. Please. So this is called bhakti to the Lord, and then to support vairagya. Some self-control, some self-denial, some self-imposed discipline because by which I recede, I control, I withdraw myself from the fields as much as possible. Here Swamiji used, Ranganathanji Maharaj used not violent approach, because that will boomerang us. A non-violent approach. At the same time, we don't dilute our efforts. We struggle. But he says no violent approach. No direct confrontation. No suppression. You must know how to handle. So when we chant Ramnam, we pray to him. Give us the needed strength and courage to hold on to the self-imposed disciplines, vairagya. So bhakti is the root, vairagya is the trunk. And we have been promised by Papa that if these things are well grounded, well set, jnana will enter into the realm, and that will bring out the blossoming. Jnana means the presence of the Atman within. That means the light, that little higher level. To a higher power, it is not there, probably not in the measure in which it should be there. But now we have entered, all that is over now. Now we have entered into the afternoon or evenings. So now here we take stock. And what does he say? The last 2 days, we shall have something to do with the higher dimension, but the struggle of life is so strong. Now that you have achieved something in life, you have got a family, you have got a name, fame, everything has come to you. Now it is time to develop a new philosophy for yourself. That is the philosophy of the afternoon of human life. Have I enriched myself qualitatively? A visit to a place like a spiritual institution like ashram. When we are in our own place, probably the atmosphere need not be conducive for even thinking on these lines. Because of so many gadgets, God has brought it out in the form of science and scientific and technological progress. So the mind goes to those gadgets. Rather, it has no time to go within. This is purely an inward journey. So that is why Mataji used to say, when you are coming to ashram, ashram is a school. Here you have come to learn universal love and service. Hari Om, Hari Om. Please sit down. So when we come to the ashram, if we take it that we are coming to a school, nobody goes to the school. Mataji has elaborately explained about this. Nobody goes to the school and look at the structure, civil structure, or the teachers there and then come back. We go to the school to study. So this is a place where we try to bring all these thoughts, because we don't have to think anything about ourselves here. No? Everything is taken care of by the ashram. So here a lot of time is available to us for dwelling on these sublime subjective thoughts. The routine that is going on might help us, provided we have this perspective. Otherwise we will attend some session and go back. We go back as we have come. And it happens to the people who are staying here also. This should be very, very clear to all of us again and again. That is why probably Papa is bringing this particular slogan in this afternoon, forenoon life and afternoon life. Have I enriched myself qualitatively? More of peace, more of joy, more of compassion. That spiritual development must become the main activity in the afternoon of one's life. Expansion. Up to the forenoon, we have been guided by the me to me. In the afternoon, we must start this me to we. That is qualitatively enriching our life. Suppose we repeat what we have been doing, this me to me, what happens? He says, we will become smaller and smaller day by day. World rejects us and nature rejects us. That is why we say old age is a terrible. Body will not cooperate. Mindless enthusiasm, but nobody will hear what we say, because everybody has got their own preferences and priorities. So ultimately we land up with grumblings and complaints, insufficiencies, incompleteness. So today Papa is slowly guiding our attention. The question came about attachment. Attachment is because, the me to me level. Without enriching my life, I will not be able to. So long as the me to be is dominant, my attachment to the objects outside will remain. But if I am in a position to raise myself from the level of me to be, gradually, not 1% or 1%, 2%, 3%. So here we are given clear-cut direction. We divide our life into the forenoon life and the afternoon life. Even in the forenoon life, we must have some idea. Though we may not be able to fully go along with it, but in the afternoon life, we should definitely try. So that we don't want to repeat the forenoon life characteristics to the afternoon life. All moral ethical values will become explicit. When we go back to our life, we will find many such persons. We rely on them because we have seen those things have become explicit. They would have passed their middle age, but they are very clear. There are few exceptions where they were able to, even during the forenoon of their life, they were able to hold on to these values by God's grace. But generally speaking, forenoon life is busy with so many preoccupations. We know from our own life. But at least now let us see the afternoon life in which we are now. Most of us, or 90% of us. Let us not try to bring those tendencies. The spiritual development, more of peace, more of joy, more of compassion, the spiritual development must become the main activity in the afternoon of one's life. If you carry over the forenoon activities to the afternoon, what will be the result? We will become smaller and smaller day by day. We should be able to rescue ourselves from the bonds of nature. There is something within us which is free. We can manifest freedom. There comes a higher philosophy of life. And both these should not contradict each other. They follow one after the other. Let's say Papa and one of his material science and spiritual science are both sides of the same coin. It should go hand in hand. One should not overpower the other. Because spiritual background, spiritual life guarantees us the quality of our life. Material science guarantees us the standard of our life, standard of living. The first one is standard of life, the other one is standard of living. Both are needed for our existence. If we concentrate more and more on improving the standard of living at the cost of the standard of life, then we are, in spite of everything, ashantasya kuta sukham. We may not be having the shanti, peace, more of peace, more of joy, more of compassion. That will not be there. So again, going back to Mataji's word, ashram is a school where we try, he has given us so many lessons from outside. We did not have time to parade before our mind and then concentrate on that which is to be concentrated. So here it offers wonderful, ample opportunities for us to parade all the experiences He has made us to go through, all the experiences He has made us to observe, and to learn technique by which the quality of the life is improved. And the teachings or words of wisdom of the Mahatmas, in our case, here Papa, it will help us to get more and more clarity on how to improve the quality of life. Let's fix that. A very important topic. Even if we forget the whole thing, what is happened, don't forget the forenoon and afternoon life. Don't do it, please not do it. Please not do it. Because how our outer life should be. Your Papa has given practical suggestions, not necessary. So he has given us practical suggestion that whatever we do, we should have the stamp of perfection. Never in a slip-sawed, clumsy, irregular, half-hearted way. These are the words. How to improve the quality of my life? Whatever I do, whatever I am involved in, never in a clumsy, irregular, half-hearted way. God has given me this particular assignment, I am bringing it out. In the forenoon of our life, we may not be able to have it. So when I come to the place like ashram, and when suppose you are sitting in this centenary hall alone, many people come sit alone here, they will not be engaged in anything. Really, they are making use of this privilege. In good old days, it was Samadhi Mandir, but now the chanting is going on, probably they may not be able to do it. So those of them, whenever they feel that they should concentrate more and more on the inward direction, they come and sit here, they come outside, they go through the boats, they go through the various teachings of Papa here. That will help us. So the real purpose, the real meaning of the school, Mataji has beautifully coined it. Ashram is a school. And so we come here and do our studies with the help of what God has given us from our outer life. There, we have no time to sit and look into it, either because of challenges, compulsions, attractions, duties, commitment, whatnot. But here we are free from everything. Right from morning till evening, we are a free bird here. Though various programs have been set by Mataji, we have been given freedom also to spend our time. We remember the old days when, late 60s, we clearly remember Mataji used to take us to the Homa Mandir, the Samadhi Mandir of Papa. Silently we sit, no other thing. At least for half an hour. There is no photo, no image, no ritual, no chanting, nothing will be there, no arati. That place here earmarked exclusively for this inward journey, this inner study, evaluation. The rest of the places will have so many activities. But now this centenary hall is free from that. If we are prompted from within, we can go and read any of Papa's words. Some books are here kept, that is why the books are kept here. If we are prompted from within. Otherwise we evaluate our own. That is the real purpose. If you remember right, she said, You are come here to learn universal level science. Which school will allow for you to come and sit for some time and go without passing a single examination? And how can you pass an examination because you have not even gone through the ABC of the syllabus yet? Because Mataji wanted every visitor to make the best use of this facility. Here nothing is imposed. Though programs are there, nobody will compel us to go and attend. So long as I treat it as an aid for my spiritual progress, it is useful. If it is imposed on me, I am doing it as a discipline. It will not help me. But in this secluded place, suppose I come to realize what for this Nam stands. And with that bhavana, I go and attend. And what happens? I will be able to enjoy it. So we have to keep on hammering this. Mataji was very particular about it. And in a lighter vein, she used to say, Kaya Priya, Sukh se soya, jaise aaya, vaise gaya. Now we know today about this forenoon life and afternoon life. So in the forenoon life, when we come to ashram, we may not be probably able to recount because the mind is not fully prepared to get it prioritized on these. Some basic ideas will be there, no problem. At least a positive diversion view, they will find it here. But still mind will be on various priorities. But especially those who have been drawn here in the afternoon of their life. Here the real purpose of such an ashram the last two deal with the higher dimensions. Now that you have achieved something in life, you have got a family, you have got name, fame, everything has come to you. Now it is time to develop a new philosophy for you. That is the philosophy of the afternoon of human life. Have I enriched myself qualitatively? You are not asking a certificate from anybody. No? You are asking yourself. It is purely a self-evaluation. If we find there are areas where we have to improve, we will try to improve. That's all. More of peace, more of joy, more of compassion. That spiritual development must become the main activity in the afternoon of one's life. If you carry over the forenoon activities to the afternoon, you will become smaller and smaller day by day. So this is a powerful message Papa is giving us today through the 33rd stanza number 33, sloga number 33 of chapter number 3. So higher and higher. The energy has to be refined and given a direction. That capacity we have, only we must do it carefully, judiciously, not through a direct confrontation. Those who have enormous spiritual strength, they can do it with a direct confrontation. But most people cannot and should not. They will lose the battle. That is, nigraha kim karishyati, merely suppressing what can it do. Better to work out these various tendencies, impulses, with a discriminating mind, so that you can climb higher and higher. The word discrimination, viveka, comes here again and again. So this is the teaching regarding nature implanted in human beings. Let us all try our level best with the help of the holy and all-powerful Ram Nam. So when we chant Ram Nam, suppose we bring in all these dimensions, it will, the qualitative enrichment, the process will be set. Otherwise, it goes on as usual at the physical, at the superficial level, limp level, with no major dent in our, no impact in our thoughts, words and deeds. We have facilitated all these things to go through. Kindly enable us to hold on and make our afternoon life activities more and more, giving us more and more on quality of life. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram, Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Pranam, Pranam.